That is your job. So do your job. So Senedd Morgan, First Minister of Wales, said in a debate and in a speech in the Senedd, we need to stop buying things at home. We need to get out of our home. We need to go to the pubs and start paying for our pints instead of watching Netflix with a bottle of wine in the comforts of our own home. Now, this to me, whilst I understand what she's trying to get at, is that we need to support business, right? If we're going to see business thrive, we need to support business. But it's not as straightforward as that, because the economy in Wales is so dire right now because of people like you and Senedd Morgan, that people can't afford to go out anymore. You want to see the pubs closing down because people aren't going there, but people aren't going there because of the prices that are just inflated to high heaven. They can't afford to go out for a meal. They can't afford to go for a pint every night down the pub like they used to be able to do. Well, unless it's Wetherspoons, but that's another podcast episode, because I've got something about Wetherspoons that would be great to bring at a later date. However, she is so far removed from the working class folk in Wales and the struggles that we have, that she honestly believes that we could just go, oh no, we won't watch Netflix and have a bottle of wine tonight. We'll go out and we'll spend 200 quid in a restaurant having wine and food. It's just not practical. It's not practical. So I think she needs to get with the programme, get with the working class people and understand a little bit of the problems that we're encountering in our economy. Matthew, what do you think?
There's this fantastic little meme, right? I'll try to find it, maybe I'll stick it up, of this guy riding a bike with a big stick, right?
Sure.
And then in the middle of the meme, he shoves it in this front wheel.
Oh,
okay,
sure.
and then in the third picture, he's on the floor and he's like, ugh, and then he blames it on someone else. You know, it's completely self-inflicted issue. And I just immediately come to mind in thinking about this, because she's trying to solve a problem that the politicians have created in not supporting our high streets and our businesses, in hiking up business rates to the point where the businesses have to pass that on to customers, and you see footfall fall as a result, and it's completely self-inflicted.
It's true, but yet we've got towns that are full of Turkish barbers, vape shops, card shops. How are they thriving? How are the Turkish barbers thriving? And yet a small business that's homegrown, Welsh homegrown, can't make it. There is something really dramatically wrong in the way that we set up the economy. And as well, I mean, in Neath, our council is shocking. Even though they've built new infrastructure, new swimming bars, and there's lots of great shops that are now in new places. If you go to the other side of Neath, it is dire. The shops are in a right state. And these small businesses, and I'll take you out to talk to some of these small business owners, they're not surviving. They're having to close down these shops. People can't go in and purchase anything because the things that they purchase in are too high. And the reason they're too high is because the tax, the business rates are way too high. So they're in catch-22. They're not going to survive. Matthew, what do you think about these business rates? Obviously, the politicians and the councils are raising the business rates and then complaining that people are not starting new businesses, and then complaining that people are not going to these new businesses to pay. How do we solve this?
Well, there's a question.
Exactly.
You don't know where to start.
I know.
Like I said, they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
They are trying to bring in additional business rate, I'm guessing, from these small businesses, because the shortfall in whatever they receive from their funding from the UK Parliament is not enough to fund services and raising council tax and to pay for services which are not really fulfilling what they need to do. So they just see it as a measure to maybe plug that gap, that shortfall. But of course, it's still not enough, is it?
No. I think we need to go back to ground zero. This is why we need more business people in the Senedd. And I know people disagree with me with this. So they're like, oh, we don't want, professionals, business professionals in the Senedd. We need them. It's because of these problems. We are encountering these problems because we've got professional politicians, they're professional debaters in the Senedd, but they know jack all when it comes to business. And then we wonder why the valleys is void of business and the economy is shot. So I think the First Minister needs to get a reality check, go down the valleys, walk down the high streets, talk to business owners about what the real issues are, and then sort it out. That is your job, to sort it out. Stop hiding away in the Senedd, debating about these things, telling people to stop, watching Netflix and have a bottle of wine at home. No, solve the problem of why they are doing that. That is your job. So do your job. That's all I have to say. Don't look to the right, don't look to the left. Look up Britain. Look up Wales. And Senedd, off you go. On your bike. Fair shina.